Wow.
That was sick.
Wow! Hey, greetings everybody. I'm the captain.
Eating some Rob Chapman.
We're at Andertons today. Roundabout now is the illustrious NAMM show. Every year in January we get to traipse off to California, see all the new cool stuff coming from all the brands this year. We've got a sneak preview of some Ibanez guitars. Ibanez, if you're Spanish. Ibanez.
Also, around about now is the time that we get the lunchtime glaze, where we just have some nice food, maybe a glass or something, and we start to get fatigued.
I don't know, that was a good jam.
That was a good
I
jam.
went places in that jam. I liked it. Anyway,
I
look.
loved your whammy bar stuff.
It's a good whammy.
And it totally took me by surprise.
It's a good whammy. So look, there are some guitars behind us here that you'll be going, yeah, that's familiar, I get that. RG550 territory, the reverse headstock sort of stuff. Been there, done that, but there's some cool stuff and we'll come on to that later. But 4 of these hot diggity guitars
are not like the others.
4 of these guitars are not like the others.
Some
4 of these guitars are not the same. Sesame Street or something like that?
It was,
I think it was something like that. So this is the AZ series. Don't know what AZ stands for. All I know is that A is the first letter of the alphabet and Z is the last one.
Oh. Tell that guitar, Lee.
Now, I quite like the fact that Ibanez, who we always think of as a kind of contemporary, one of the new kids on the block, is now been around for so long that they can actually now start to use their vintage logo on a headstock and kind of get that sort of authentic vintage vibe.
What will I do next? Relicking?
I have no idea. Let's get out there. We're allowed to say these things in these videos because we're not corporate, but the guys at Sur have taken that whole kind of super stratty kind of vibe thing to a whole new level of popularity. And I think there's a few brands going, oh,
we'd like a bit of that cake.
We do that too. And AZ, I think, is definitely Ibanez's kind of attempt at going way more traditional than looking than something like an RG.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a bit like Gibson did with their recent foray into the kind of PRS type looking vibe.
For sure. So you'd be forgiven if you to be honest, you'd be forgiven now on a lot of guitars. If you covered up the headstock, you could choose one of a number of different brands that it could be. But you'd be forgiven for sort of thinking that this was definitely sort of Sur-esque. So we got the roasted maple neck and fingerboard. We've got this kind of, I don't know if this is snake oil or not, but there's some stuff on the Ibanez website talking about the heat treatment that the timber goes through on the Japanese stuff. This idea of sucking all the oxygen out of a room and pumping high heat nitrogen in there or something like that. And then anyway, all this stuff that's designed to sort of make the guitar
they torture the tree.
More resonant in some way. They call it S-Tech, I think, S-Tech. There's models being made in Japan, which are the Prestige models, which we both have Prestige models at the moment. And there are models being made in Indonesia, which are the premium models. All of the same kind of vibe. Quite a big price difference between the two.
What was really interesting to us as we came back from lunch and unboxed them and took a look at them is, and we all kind of agreed, from afar, they don't look as good as they are up close. When you start playing them and you go, oh yeah, these bridge saddles are really nicely designed. And oh yeah, these frets feel great. And oh, the neck feels really nice.
I would totally concede that these are understated looking guitars.
Very. Yeah,
from like 20 yards away, that could be £199 or it could be £1,999.
And then you start playing it and you go, oh, they got a grippy thing on the volume. And then the bridge is nice and then these pickups sound great and the neck feels good. And then suddenly you realise it really is worth
So
the money.
there's a couple of cool collaborations here. Ibanez have collaborated with Gota to make the trem system.
And
It's very much a vintage. Well, vintage, maybe that's not the right. It's a 2-point pivot trem, so it's contemporary in one way, but it's vintage in another way, and the saddles have got like a vintage vibe to them.
They've avoided all the sharp edges, which is what I like.
Yeah, really nice.
You can just do that. For
Really
days.
nice.
You're not going to hurt yourself.
That's on the Japanese ones. The pickups again are a collaboration, so they're Seymour Duncan branded, but you can't buy these pickups on anything. You can only get these pickups on this guitar. They're like an Ibanez Seymour Duncan collaboration. I've got 22 frets. You got 24?
24, bro.
You got 24.
Couldn't really play it though.
This one's available in the ice blue at $17.79. And then I don't know if maybe Rory can find a picture of one. We don't have one here today. There is one in a trans aqua color that's like 2200. The 24 fret one is available in the sunburst that Rob has, and also just like a solid blue version of this, so with no scratch plate, still with 2 humbuckers. They're also $17.79 with a hard case. Shall I take you through some tones?
Do that, Lee.
So I am using, controversially, a Black Star HT Stage 100 Mark II with a Wampler Tumnus pedal and an MXR carbon copy pedal. That's my standard HSS pickup selection. If I switch the little metal toggle switch on, I get some weird stuff here. So I now get like these two pickups together in more of a humbucker mode. I get these two pickups now. So I don't know if you saw that, very back one and very front one. All the pickups. The front-facing single coil of the back pickup. And then the only one that doesn't change is the humbucker itself is always the humbucker, regardless of where the switch is. It's a big neck. It's wide. It's as wide as you'd expect a sort of an Ibanez neck to be, but it's as fat as you'd expect like a vintage Fender to be.
And they're not really flat either. They've got a nice radius to them. Yeah,
absolutely. So you've got this real, I mean, absolutely nailed on crossover vibe, haven't you? Of kind of, it is sexy and juicy for the guys that like old Fenders, but it's reliable and versatile in a way that perhaps people would want a more modern instrument to be. So comes with a hard case. Let me show you the back as well. It's got a, if I was being critical, as we like to be, they've gone to great pains to take quite a lot of the wood out here to sort of increase the sort of comfort of the axis up here. But for me, the heel joint still sticks out far enough that it almost makes this additional cutaway pointless.
I completely agree with you.
It's like you know, you're up here and you're going, yeah, I've got loads of room here, except like you're this bit here where you're still. So, but that's fine, because to be honest with you, I never play above the 17th fret anyway. In fact, to be honest with you, I rarely get past the 15th fret. So for me, that doesn't really matter. But I guess if you're more of a shredder up here, that might be an issue. Nice touch with the reversed in Jackaroo. It's just a lovely, lovely guitar. Do you want to do the same on yours, and then we'll switch over to the premium
absolutely
ones?
Do.
They're quite a lot less money.
really nice.
Holy mother of moly, man.
It's
These
got-
are some of the best tones we've had in ages.
That's probably the baked out maple, the beautiful frets and the lovely pickups.
So Rob's using a Marshall JVM.
Yeah, 410, bringing back the old school.
I know.
new school.
I'm surprised we haven't used that amp more over the last 10 years that it's been out, but because we've used it a couple of times in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
It sounded really good.
Again, I got switcheroo type stuff.
Yeah.
If I've got it down, it's like humbuckers, and then it starts from the in and goes out. You know what I mean by that, don't you?
Yeah.
So humbuckers either side. If I bring it up, it splits them. But when you're playing the lead, you really hear that. So for example, this is with it up. With it down. A lot more power.
I've got to be honest with you. We've not had, but I love it when we do demos where both of us get that singing sustain. I mean, I was really surprised. I mean, I've never really been like a go-to Black Star guy in the sense of I've always thought that their big angle was kind of value for money and versatility rather than necessarily like, ooh, ultimate tone.
Yeah.
But this OD1 and then Tumnus on top.
It's got a singing quality, and I'm sure it's to do with the neck.
The sustain. Well, they say that this idea of the way they're drying the timber out, this VTEC kind of way of drying the timber out, is there to sort of enhance the natural sustain and attack of the guitar.
Kind of every note has that quality, like it would continue if you
Great.
really wanted it to.
Lovely trim. There's no like gubbins in the back that you don't want. So there's none of that kind of tremel no.
I forgot I've got a
stuff.
trem.
Yeah, you haven't got an arm, have you? You should have got the arm out of the case. It's a beautiful feeling trim. I've not had to really retune this at all.
The back plate looks like a surprised face.
So let's dive over. I'm going first because I want this one. Well, in fact, you can have the HSS one.
Thanks, Lee. You mean the Yamaha Pacifica?
Well, I've never been a massive fan of that kind of flame maple pearly scratch plate thing because I kind of think it's been done a lot on cheap guitars. But if that's your thing, is it a top or a veneer? Can we see?
It's a veneer.
No, it's more thicker than a veneer. You got maybe a 2 mil or something like that, haven't you? A mil?
If it were, I don't know.
This is a
drop
veneer,
top.
100%. But so again, these two are these are from the premium range, which is the one below prestige. So premium is made in Indonesia rather than Japan. These come with those kind of semi-hard cases, you know, the ones that like a canvas covered hard case. Pretty much all the same kind of vibe in terms of feel. You've got that same extended kind of cutaway on the back. Same idea with the pickups. So now Rob has the HSS version and I have the HH version, but all the wiring and everything is the same. Basswood bodies as opposed to older bodies, and you don't get this S-Tech drying process on the timbers. But hey, I want my tremolo on back.
Looks nice though, huh? While you're doing that, I'll play some clean tones.
This looks fabulous. I don't know what is this. What is this wood on the top? Is it some sort of
tree wood?
Diseased tree wood. Let me find my spec sheet. It is Bocote. B-O-C-O-T-E. Bocote. Bocote. Sounds better, doesn't it? Bocote. Much lighter.
Yeah, it is lighter.
And marginally not as nice to play, I would say.
It's true. Well, but then we haven't set these up. I would
we haven't
say
set any of them up, really. We've played them straight out the box.
Yeah, but I'm going to say that...
I'm trying to think what it is that feels different about these. Sorry, I'm looking at spec on the floor here. I mean, they've all got these stainless steel frets. They've all got the same trem system on there. I wonder if it's just that classic old bit of, the Japanese have probably just spent a bit longer
setting them up.
Just getting them like that. But there's a big price difference. These got locking machiners as well. They've all got locking machiners. They've got those weird top locking ones.
I like those.
So these are £1,069 and come in either this amazing colour called Deep Espresso Burst, or that comes in the Sunburst or like a more of a blue burst. Again, I'm sure Rory will put them on screen.
And again, this looks like a Yamaha Pacifica from afar. It looks kind of...
There's an amazing
cheap
one called Tequila Sunrise. Put that on the screen now,
But
Rory.
what I was going to
cool.
say, Lee, is although you'd be forgiven for thinking this looks cheap from afar, when you play it, it doesn't feel like it's cheap.
I guess the problem nowadays is as soon as you put a veneer on the top of something, you can make a really cheap instrument look really classy.
Yeah.
And then the problem is, of course, the really classy stuff potentially then looks cheap. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's that is a super popular combination of the heavy flame with the pearly scratch plate. It's just not my combination. It wouldn't be what I would go for. I'd have this one, or probably just plain old. It's like, they're great though. Honestly and truthfully, for dudes that have never really thought they're an Ibanez guy, and I put myself in that camp. I am not an RG
try these.
guy.
Absolutely try them.
But you want something that's, maybe you do want something like a Sur, and you just, it's just too rich for you. Check these out. I think these are awesome. In fact, to be honest with you, even if you can afford a Sur, check these out anyway. I've played a few second-hand Surs that have come through Andertons, and to be totally honest with you, I think these would be very much at home in a straightforward shootout with one of those.
Interesting concept.
So,
do you want a pointy fluorescent shred off?
I absolutely don't. No, I'll have the blue one with no Floyd Rose system on it.
Okay,
so
I'll
anyway,
have the red one then.
Apologies for those of you who've sat patiently going, hurry up with the boring jazz fusion crap, just show me the shred machines. This is...
Well, you want this blue one, do you?
Yeah, you want this one. Do you want the yellow one or the... what do you call this? Is it Road Rage Red? Brilliant name.
Is it really called
Road Rage Red?
Road Rage Red?
Slightly, probably politically inappropriate, but no more politically inappropriate than most of the stuff we say on this channel.
And you don't get to hear.
So, I guess it's fair to say that Ibanez would have been nothing like... Actually, I'm going to sit down and carry on before I carry on. I guess it's fair to say that Ibanez really, if you think Ibanez, you think RG550, don't you?
Yep.
That was the guitar that they released in the 80s that kind of just went... Ibanez is like, that defined Ibanez, I think, as a kind of a shredder's, rocker's kind of guitar. And they've reissued them this year. Are they premium? They're Japanese or Indonesian? What's it
This
say?
is Japanese.
Wow. So, you know what? That's a bucket load of guitar then, because these are 1100. Are you 100% sure they're Japanese?
These are Japanese.
Mother of Mary. These are Japanese, which is what it says on the back of the headstock. And the price that these are on our website for now is correct. These are $899.
Yeah. That's a really ridiculous price.
Ridiculous.
For a guitar that does a really good cat impression.
Do you know what? I'm pretty sure in 1986 or whatever it was when the original RG550 came out, I think they were about £500 then.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And we're like 30 years later, and it's only gone up, 400 quid. It's just mental. That's a bucket load of guitar. So tell us, give us some tones, tell us the feel.
Okay,
What's
so
the dealio, Rob?
Let's go clean tones. Let's go clean tones.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let me just tune it though, Lee.
Rob, Robert, are you plucking your hair or trying to signal me? You're just plucking your hair?
Just plucking my hair.
Okay.
Wait. It's really fun to... It just kind of plays itself in a really pleasant...
That's mad. So I think they've reissued this in 4 colours. I'm sure Rory will put them on the screen now. I don't know if they're the original 4 colours from the 80s. They may well be. But I tell you, I'm kind of, even now going, I expect we'll have to re-edit this video when we find out they're not really, they're probably $18.99 or something. But if they are $8.99 and they are Japanese, that is insane.
Yeah, get one, buy a Gator case, away you go to a gig.
Yeah, there's no case with these. Perhaps that's how they've saved a little bit of money.
You get all the girls from the 80s.
quick. This is a guitar that, again, or a series of guitars that's been in the catalogue for a while now, RGR. So it's an RG body shape with a reverse headstock, a through neck, feels super lightweight, so I'm guessing it's some sort of basswood kind of body, but with this real cool burled poplar kind of top on it, veneer anyway. This is much, much more affordable. So this is down at the $550 kind of mark.
And where's that made?
That's made on the moon. No, this is made in Indonesia. So same place that the premium versions of those were made. Let's give you some tones. Anyways, this is some basic 5-way switch, so I can still get single coil kind of tone. 2 humbuckers, no coil tap. Well, no, I can't coil tap like that, but I've got a 5-way blade, so I can get some single coil sounds. So neck pickup. With ganache, as I'm sure we all want to hear.
I love your delay.
This, yeah,
sounds good, huh?
The good old-fashioned carbon copy delay. What is not to like about that guitar for £550? A little bit kind of, I guess, rock metal looking, but if that's your bag, it's got this cool 5-piece neck. You see that on the back there? We'll just zoomage in. I think this comes in other colours as well.
I mean, you wouldn't lose mine, would you?
You definitely wouldn't. If you were basically, if your car broke down late at night and all you had in the boot of your car was an RG550 and Road Rage Red, you could just put it on a stand, sort of 20 feet behind your car, and no one would crash into you, for sure.
Have you ever done a cat impression with your guitar?
No.
Where you go... So you... This video wouldn't be complete.
A cat make a noise like that.
Wouldn't be complete until you did that, Lee. So you should on this guitar.
I try.
You should just christen it by playing a single note, and then you just like you're playing with a ruler on your desk, like a naughty boy at school. We all know Lee was a naughty boy at school.
So is it a harmonic or just a note?
Just one note. Oh, feeling the 80s course through your veins. Oh, let's get some fluorescent socks and
it's doable.
Get a packet of Monster Munch and...
So look, to be honest with you, the main bit of this review was really to tell you about these new AZ guitars. The RG guitars I thought were cool. There is a bucket load of new Ibanez stuff coming at the NAMM show, and I will link in the description below to the news story that we have written that details them all. There'll be guitars from, you know, 150, 200 pounds right through to guitars for £2,000, £3,000 and everything in between. Anywho, I've been the Shaptin.
I've been the Chaptin.
Let's just do something quickly to jam out on these two guitars. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Andertons Guitar YouTube channel. If you're a drummer or a keyboard player or interested in music technology, you might find one of our other channels interesting, and I'll put details of those in the description below. If you want to find out more about the products we've just featured, please click here. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt like this, please click here. If you want to watch another video on our guitar channel, click down here. And to subscribe to our guitar channel, click here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.